Reacher Season 2 just concluded and critics have a problem with it. Now in this video we'll be discussing what the problem is and if it's valid or not. Reacher Season 2 has been killing it, to put it lightly. I have seen the entire Season 2 and enjoyed it, but then I came across an article that says, critics says Reacher lacks diversity. And when I read it first, I just laughed. Now if you haven't seen the show and don't know why I'm laughing, then here's a picture of the special investigators the whole season is based on. The lack of diversity in this picture is just killing me. Now let's just ignore the white ones, cause well, they're white and society wants us to ignore them. So here's Neely, a strong, independent, no-nonsense woman of color. That's Jorge Sanchez and that's Orozco. That's Swan. If you didn't know, he's Asian. And that's Stanley. And that's just the special investigators. We also have Finley who returns, Guy Russo, Milena, and so on. There are a lot of characters in the series that I can't go through all of them, but you get the point. So this being said, why do we think Hollywood media has a problem with Reacher? Do they raise a valid point? Or they're just trying to find something negative about the show? I mean, the best example of this is 2-3 days back, I read an article by Screen Rant where they were talking about Reacher's toxic masculinity. I believe the article said something about Reacher now wanting to settle down with the women or something like that. Now here's the thing. Reacher is a guy who doesn't have a house, a car, mortgage, loans, a driver's license. He's disconnected from the world. He lives his life completely different to you and me. Like, he's something else. So of course he doesn't want to settle down. That's the whole point. But what I'm guessing is Screen Rant was instructed by higher-ups to write an article painting Reacher in a negative light, and they would get bonus points if the title of the article had the words toxic masculinity in it. And they delivered. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to Hollywood in the past few years, you might have missed the bait and switch, the gender swap, the race swap, and everything. And that is what I believe the problem is. Reacher is based on a good story rather than being based on a message or ideology. And that is where I think the problem lies, because it does not follow the footsteps that has been followed for the last few years. To start with, the men in Reacher are actual strong masculine men and not just misogynistic assholes or lapdogs. But worse than that, the female characters in Reacher are actual strong independent women but with a personality, with flaws, which is not okay. I mean, how many TV shows and movies we've seen where the female character doesn't have feelings because it makes her weak, so they're basically dead inside. Or they can't have any flaws, they're perfect, everything they touch turns to gold. That is the reason there was no mention of Reacher in the People's Choice Awards. A show that was loved by people was not even acknowledged. Because if they would have nominated Reacher, it would have meant accepting that a good story and entertainment trumps ideology, and they just cannot do that. I mean, present day Hollywood doesn't allow them to do that. So, what's the problem with Reacher? The problem with Reacher is that it's based on a good story and good characters. That the men are masculine and women have feelings. The problem with Reacher is that it's not a show that's based on a message or ideology. The problem with Reacher is that it stays true to its source material and doesn't mock it. That they care about their audiences and listen to them. That there is no gender or race swap. Those are the problems with Reacher. And now if your sarcasticometer doesn't work, I'm being sarcastic. Which means the media outlets, the points they make are not valid. They're absolute bullshit, because Reacher has proven that a good story, good characters, and a good show is what audiences want. We don't want gender swaps, race swaps. We just want a good original story. That's all we ask for. And that's what Reacher has proven. And that is something that's not sitting well with Hollywood media. So they're trying to come up with negative points and paint Reacher in a bad light. But it's not working because the numbers don't lie. The show has been successful. Now, I can't talk about the gender or toxic masculinity part because I'm a man, and the moment I open my mouth on these topics, I'm wrong by default. So I'm just gonna talk about the lack of diversity. I am a person of color, so I have something important to tell the creators of the show, which is please do not change anything. Please keep the show the way it is. Please keep making it the way you're making it. And please stay true to the source material. Because we have so little options when it comes to good shows, we just don't want to lose this. We don't want to lose Reacher and just have another woke garbage presented to us. So please just keep doing what you're doing.